Okay, Joey, you can hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. I don't like traditional cliche intros to podcasts, so starting to start my podcast with top five lists that I want to do. So I'm going to ask you, Joey, what are your top five desserts? Go.
My top five desserts. Okay, number one is ice cream. Two is cookies. Three is cheesecake. Four. Ooh, no, I really like cherry cream cheese pie. That's really good.
Cherry cream cheese pie.
That's great. Yeah, my mom makes it perfect.
Yeah, I've never heard of it, so it sounds
Kind
like
of like a cheesecake, but it's not.
how is it a cheesecake and a pie at the same time?
So like cheesecake is like a cream cheese base, and that's how the pie is.
Right.
But you add just like vanilla flavoring in this milk and lemon juice. Put over graham cracker crust and put cherries on top.
Okay. I, I
Uh,
I'll take your word for it. Um, my top
Number
five.
five is cereal.
Oh, I thought that was five.
Oh, that was four.
So say your five one more time.
Ice cream,
Ice cream,
cookies, cheesecake,
cookies, cheesecake,
pie,
pie,
and cereal. Cereal is a great dessert.
cereal. You eat cereal as a dessert?
Yes.
I guess. I guess that's appropriate. Um, okay. I would say my top five desserts are sweet potato pie and carrot cake, definitely one and two. Cookie dough, anything, number three.
That's great.
The like the strawberry shortcake, like ice creams that you get from like the gas station that have like you know what I'm talking about?
I think
Like they're on a stick and they're like strawberry. They have like it's like Dippin' Dots on
like the bars,
the bars.
the good human ones.
If that's the brand, I don't know. I just know they're always in gas stations.
Do you remember those brown sugar cinnamon pop tart like bars I sent that one time and y'all all roasted me for it?
Yo, like
I think
brown
that's the
sugar.
brand.
Oh, what was your favorite flavor of the Pop Tarts?
They have a cinnamon roll flavor and that's the best one, but like they discontinued it, but I found it in Food Lion like last week, but I didn't get it.
Are you a strawberry or are you a strawberry guy?
Not really.
I'm a strawberry guy if I can toast it. If I can't toast it, I'd much rather have brown sugar. But I haven't had Pop Tarts in years. I,
Yeah, I don't buy Pop
I
Tarts.
probably haven't had
I'm a
Pop Tarts.
toaster strudel guy.
I haven't had a toaster strudel since I was 6.
I
But
got two boxes in the freezer.
two boxes.
Yeah, I got so they have a glazed donut one, I got that. And I have an apple cinnamon one.
Okay. Um, if you don't know that voice, it is a voice of what do you want me to call you?
What do you know me as?
It's the voice of none other than Joseph Martin, one of my very best friends in the world, a very experienced dessert connoisseur, and he is my first guest on this podcast. Thank you for being here, Joseph.
Thanks for having me.
I want to ask how are you doing first of all? I know you're in school. I know you're
So I'm in spring break right now, but I still got some assignments due. And I've had my computer out the last 3 days, and I haven't started it yet.
okay. Okay, pretty good. Sounds like you're on a good track. Um, Everybody knows the best work is done when it's procrastinated towards.
Breaking Bad kind of got in the way.
Breaking Bad. You just yeah, you did just start Breaking Bad.
I just finished it yesterday.
How is it? Was it everything that they said it would be?
So Ben was hating on it,
But
but
I've heard that's
I
like the
thought it
best
was a
show ever,
great
though.
show.
You thought it was a great show? Is that probably the best show you've ever seen, or
Yes.
no?
Yeah. I can't really compare it to nothing else. Like I'm not a big show guy, but from what I've seen, yeah, it's probably the best one I've seen.
Is that a necessarily long show? Is it like long, or is it pretty?
It's five like 13 episode seasons, and they're around 47 minutes apiece.
How long did it take you to run through that?
Month and a half.
Month and a half? Yeah, that's not too bad.
If you
That's not
haven't
too
watched
bad.
it yet, I would recommend it.
Isn't it about the Yeah, I know what it's about. We both know what it's about. Everybody knows what it's about. Did you watch the Super Bowl? Of course you did.
I did watch the Super Bowl. Yeah, it was kind of bad.
Yeah, I didn't even. I made a podcast about every week since the playoffs started, and I just had no desire to talk about it anymore. That would just.
I watched like I watched in total probably like 3 minutes of the second half. Other than that, it was just fun.
Mm, yeah, yeah. I had every intention, or I had every expectation of Kansas City coming back and making it a game in the second half, and they just played worse.
Mike Rimmers, man.
Mike Rimmers. Mike Rimmers. Are you watching the Lakers every time they play, or no?
So I had watched every game this season up until the last three overtime games. I haven't touched those.
I've been watching everything. If you don't know, me and Joseph are mutual Laker fans, mutual Panther fans, um, and I think that's the only place we coincide in sports. But yeah, I think we played the Thunder like 2 or 3 days ago, right? And I watched the
Mm-hmm.
highlights, and it was a overtime game, and LeBron played great and everything. And so I was eating breakfast this morning, and I went on YouTube, and like they're doing like the series now where you play like the same team like twice in 3 days in the same like city. And so we were playing the Thunder again with the same uniforms and the same state in the same arena, and it went to overtime again. So I was like, "Am I watching the same game that I was watching a couple of days ago?" And but LeBron missed. He airballed
Yeah, I saw that. I watched the last like 30 seconds.
yeah. In the game a couple of days ago, he hit like two threes to like put it away, and then in this game he airballed the two to that would have put us up one, and then he stole the ball to
Last night, yeah.
put the game away last night. But yeah, so good to talk to you, man. But
If you go,
other than that, everything's good.
yeah.
Okay, that's great, man. I wanna before we get into what we're gonna get into, I just want to give like a quick rundown of you and I and our relationship and how it's come to be. Um, I think the first time we met was seventh grade when you moved from different middle school, and would you say we immediately like saw that we had the same music interest or sports interests first?
It was sports.
Was it sports more?
Yeah. But then after we both discovered we really like Cole, people who had known him like that at the time, like us. So
Yeah, yeah, and that's kind of been like the basis of most of our friendship. Even though obviously as we gotten older, it's gotten deeper than that, but that's kind of been the basis of our friendship. Similar music tastes, similar sports tastes, and our differences in those specific areas. Like we love these two things very much, and we see them very differently.
yeah, especially hip hop, bro.
I feel like we see hip hop, like it's crazy. I was talking to my brother about this last night. It's crazy how people can see the same thing and think two different things. And I think as much as we both love sports and hip hop, we see them like polar opposite on some things. On most things, not on most things, but on some things we see them the same. But on a lot of things, like I'm sure,
I don't think we see sports that different.
I think we do. I think we do.
I don't know, man.
I think we do. We just don't talk
You
about
think
it.
I'm an old head, bro?
I mean, the Jordan LeBron conversation, the freaking Matthew Stafford conversation.
But Matthew Stafford is just a random conversation, though. Like, that's not like a deeply held thing, bro.
But that's the thing. We don't talk about sports as deeply as we talk about music. At least me and you don't. I have a feeling that we'll be able to see that a little bit more, which we'll get into. So let's get into it. Yesterday was the 17th anniversary of the College Dropout? The 10th?
Yeah.
The 10th?
Great album.
Great album. Kanye's debut album. The reason why I got you on here is because you are, for all of your glorious whiteness, you are my probably first reference to all things hip hop. You are who I defer to when it comes to hip hop. Like I'm just being real with you.
It's that hip hop Twitter stuff, bro.
Yeah. No, I mean not in a whole, like, I'm not saying that you're Dre or anything, that you're like, I'm just saying that you know more about the history of things. You listen to more. You really are just more into rap music than I am. Even though I'm into rap music a whole lot, you're more into rap music specifically than I am. So much that, like, that's really the only type of rap music that you listen to. Would I be wrong in saying that?
Yeah. No, I don't look into any other genre.
Right. And so what we're going to do today is something that we've argued about a lot. We're going to rank Kanye's albums, his solo albums specifically, because if we got into things like Watch the Throne and Kids See Ghost and Cruel Summer and stuff, I feel like it would be a little bit too long. I didn't know he had 9. Like I always thought that it was like 6. I don't know why I always thought it was like 7.
So while I was going through his albums today, I thought he had more.
I mean, he obviously has more. I think we just grouped in.
I thought he had 10. I thought he had 10 solo albums when I first made my list today. I thought I was missing one.
I thought he had less than this because, like, that's a lot. That's a lot, and like they all have like 15 plus songs on it, except for EA, obviously. But like most of them have like a lot of songs on it too.
Especially his earlier works, they were deep projects.
Yeah, definitely. So this is how we're gonna do it. We're gonna start from 9, go down. I'll let you go first. I'll go second. Both of us will say our respective slots for that ranking, and it's going to be like you say your piece, I'll say my piece, and then at the end or in between, doesn't really matter. Just shout if somebody says something blasphemous. I'm sure you will, and we'll just have a conversation about this.
All right, so number 9. I mean, I'm 100% sure this would be yours too. I mean, it's Jesus is King. And it's not that it's a bad album. It's just the least noteworthy. It's still, I mean, it came out, less than 2 years ago, year and a half ago, actually. It's not talked about like at all. And there was a lot of anticipation for this album because, it was originally supposed to be Yandi.
Mm-hmm.
And, all of those tweets talking about, Yandi 929, 18, I think that was the year.
Yeah.
It kept passing. Year went by. Changed the name of the album, Jesus is King. Then he capped on that for about a month. But we finally got it. And so we knew it was going to be gospel or gospel style. And I don't know what I was expecting going into it. but it was a lot different than what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a lot more ultralight beamish,
Yeah, yeah,
but there was nothing like that at all.
yeah, yeah.
But it has some good songs. I don't know how you pronounce it, like Sela.
Selah, yeah,
I don't know how you pronounce it. I
Selah.
think that's a great track, Selah. And I listen to God Is regularly, but there is a few songs on there I don't go back to, like Hands On. Uh, see, there's a lot of forgettable songs on there that aren't coming to me. Oh, Water's one, but yeah, there's some good tracks on there. I personally gave it a 7 out of 10, I believe, which shows that Kanye doesn't really have a bad album, but it definitely wasn't one of the better projects released that year.
Yeah, yeah. I think we see this part a lot closer than we will see definitely the higher slots. I agree with you that Kanye does not have a bad album. Like, he just doesn't. It just doesn't exist. And I actually re-listened to 9 and 8, my 9 and 8 today, because obviously I listened to 1 through 5 and definitely like 1 through the better ones more, obviously. And what I came to the conclusion is that for number 9 for me is Jesus. Number 9 for me is Jesus.
Really? Oh man.
Yeah. I listened to it. And I'm going to go ahead and explain 9 and 8, because 8.
Okay, yeah, I'll go ahead and say eight is Jesus for me too.
Yeah. 8 is Jesus is King for me. Jesus is King. I listened to it while I was walking today. That album, like Kanye's vocal performance on that album is the worst part of the album for me. That album is like, the production on each of those tracks is really good. Mm-hmm. It's really good. Like, I think all in all, it's a funner listen. It's shorter a little bit. I think it's a little bit shorter than Yeezus. I think it's a little bit easier to listen to than Yeezus. I think it's a little bit more accessible to listen to than Yeezus. I can listen to Jesus is King in the morning, or I can listen to it on a walk at 5 o'clock at night. Like, if I listen to Yeezus in the morning, I probably have the worst day of my life. Now, Yeezus has 2 songs that is better than anything on Jesus is King, and that is, for me, Blood on the Leaves and Bound 2. Depending on how you feel about New Slaves, or any of that stuff. But for me, Jesus is King, like, it's a good album. Everything We Need, the song with Ty Dolla $ign, is a really well put together song. God Is, like you said, that sample is really good. Follow God is a song that I listen to a lot when I'm working out.
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
And I think the fact that Jesus is Lord, the Sunday Service Choir, I listen to the Sunday Service Choir album every day. Like, every day. And
really, bro?
Yes, every day. Every day. That album is so much better than Jesus King, and they're kind of like joint, that I think it kind of like diminishes Jesus King a little bit. But that was my 9 and 8, and you can go ahead. I know you like Yeezus a little bit more than most do.
I mean, so if you go on hip hop Twitter, a lot of people would tell you Yeezus is his best album.
Yeah,
I can't agree with that at all. I don't think it's close, because the vibe of Yeezus is really weird. I think you could understand that. Like you said, you would never listen to it in the morning, bro. Like, there is one track on there that I would listen to in the morning. It's Guilt Trip.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people say that's the worst song on the album. I think that's like probably the second or third best song on the album. I listened to it before New Slaves, but like you said, Bound to Them, Blood on the Leaves, those are all time great Kanye songs. But the direction that he went on this album, it was weird, to say the least. I don't revisit it often. I haven't revisited it in full. I mean, I think I did it once in like April. Didn't feel any different about it.
Talking about Yeezus.
But I mean, yeah. But I appreciate it for what it is. But I can see why you put Jesus is King ahead of that. So I forgot about Jesus is King when I originally made the list. Mm-hmm. And I had Jesus last, but I had to think about the highs of the album. Jesus, I feel like it has the better highs,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
I feel like that pushes it over. And then I go into my number 7.
yeah. Go ahead.
That's Yay, and Yay's a good album. It's too short, honestly. It's too short. And I think every song in there is really good. I don't listen to Wouldn't Leave much, but I like where you went on that. It's probably the most in depth to their relationship, him and Kim's relationship, that we'll ever see through song. Um, and I think Ghost Town is a top 5 Kanye West song of all time. And originally, I revisited that during quarantine. I think I gave that
An 8.
I believe, yeah. I gave Jesus a 7.5. Jesus is King is a 7. And from up at this point in the discography, that I feel like there's nothing but classics.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, I had Ye at 7 also. Like you said, only 7 songs. For me, wouldn't leave is a good song. I like No Mistakes. I like No Mistakes a lot. But this album is just carried by Ghost Town. It's not even. It's that's what you're waiting for. What is it? The second to last track or the third to last track?
yeah, it's number 6.
Yeah,
Violent Crimes is a great song too.
Violent Crimes is a good song. Yeah.
He didn't write it. He didn't write it though. That really bothers me.
He didn't write it. Who wrote it?
Saeed.
Interesting. Yeah,
Saeed
yeah.
the Prince.
Yeah. I did hear that. This was right around that time, like what 2018, where he like when
it was right after junior year.
Yeah, right after he was on TMZ, he was saying crazy stuff, and this was a pretty anticipated album. And to me, this is the like when he did that tour, basically the seven song tour with the 7 artists in what was it, June or July. To me, this is the third best album of all those, behind Tiana Taylor's and Pusha T's. You know how I feel about that Daytona album. But
yeah, you said Tiana was the best one from that.
I honestly believe that. Now, obviously, we see things differently, especially when it comes to other genres, and Tiana is definitely not a rapper, and that's not a rap.
I like that Tiana album.
I think it's the best one, and yeah, that's how I feel about Ye.
I'll do a quick ranking of that summer. One, I think Daytona's number 1. Then I think it's Kids See Goes. Then I would say I put Tiana number 3. 4 Ye, and 5 was Nas. That Nas album wasn't good, bro.
That Cop Shot the Kid though is hard. I've listened to that. Like I've been listening to that a lot. I've been listening to that one a lot, like the last couple of weeks. I heard it because I've also listening to Children's Story by Slick Rick a lot lately, and listening to those back to back is fun for me. Go ahead and give me your 6.
This gonna be controversial for you, bro.
Okay.
Graduation. So it is a great album, but it has not aged well for me at all. Like
that hurt. That hurt me to
the
hear.
vibe of the album, bro. Like,
hurt me to
man,
hear.
I didn't really like that era of music, like 06 to 08, bro. I wasn't feeling it, and that's all I feel when I hear that. That was not my top.
That was the best era for music.
No, it wasn't, bro.
It wasn't. But that was as good an era as anything else for me.
No.
Dang.
Like Good Night with Mos Def. Bro, that song, it gets on my nerves. It really gets on my nerves. With Drunken Hot Girls, that is an underappreciated song from the album. I would say that. I also think Good Life is the worst single that Kanye West has ever released. What, man?
No, keep talking.
But it has one of the best movie songs of all time. Can't Tell Me Nothing. You also have So you want to know like the second song I ever heard from this album? It was Barry Bonds. People hate that song, and I feel like it just resonates with me more because Barry. You know, if
Yeah.
y'all know me, y'all know that's my first name. I feel cool when I rap it, but
Is that why you love Barry Bonds so much? Or you just love him because he's
I
good?
mean, yeah. No, he is the GOAT though, but like I guess so, yeah. But I don't feel that way about Barry Sanders, so I don't know.
Yeah, Barry Sanders was as good at football as Barry Bonds was at baseball, but continue.
Yeah, but yeah. This album's a solid 8.
Okay.
It has it's full of classics, but like there are definitely classic songs in there that will be around for a long time. Flashing Lights, but really the second half of the album it's not there for me.
Okay. Okay. Um, I'll address that later on. My number 6 is 808s and Heartbreak. Um, crazy, influential. Me and Pop were talking. Me and my Pop, my older brother, we were talking about it last night. How this was the precursor to a lot of people's careers, including Drake, including people like even like your mumble rappers like Future and Uzi and things like that. Just Bryson Tiller, just the audacity of being a rapper, even though Kanye was never the most hard rapper. But the audacity of coming out and being vulnerable and being emotional and talking about what a woman did to you on those amazing beats, not introducing, but really bringing Kid Cudi up in 2008. You have Heartless, you have Love. I feel like this album is weird because I feel like everybody who loves this album has a different favorite song on it. You know what I mean? Like for me, it may be Heartless. For you, it may be like Streetlights. For somebody else, it may be Paranoid. For somebody else, it may be RoboCop. You know what I mean?
Hey, that was actually my favorite song. Good job.
Streetlights.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Like I think that's when you know an album really resonates with people. For me, those songs just aren't big enough for a artist of Kanye's stature who does, for the most part, huge, grand songs, and they just don't feel big enough. They just don't hold as much weight. But that album itself holds a lot of weight in his discography and in the evolution of rap music.
Yeah, I understand about what you're saying with 808. It has a lot of variety to it. But I'll go into my number 5.
Cool.
I don't know where you'll have this on your list. The Life of Pablo. And this album, Kanye was wilding, bro. Like the production, I don't know. I think it might be his best produced album. The vocals on it were beautiful. My personal favorite from it is probably Ultralight Beam, where we got the best Chance verse of all time. Granted, I haven't went too deep into Chance's discography for that,
Yeah,
but
granted.
it's a great verse. The vibe that I get from the album, it feels a little different to me because it's right around when I first met my fiance, when we first started dating. Actually, Famous goes hard, bro. One of the best quotables of all time, no matter how offensive it is or untrue it is. There's a lot of highlights from the album. I think, and the lead up to the album, you know, with Cudi, what was that? Madison Square.
Madison Square.
Yeah,
him,
like
Cuddy.
that was just that was a crazy time for hip hop,
Yeah,
especially because it was only on Tidal at first.
yeah.
So if you didn't have Tidal, you couldn't listen to it. I was hurt at the time. I couldn't hear it till like March.
Didn't it come out on Valentine's Day that year?
I know it came out in February, but I couldn't listen to it till March because I only had Apple Music.
I want to say it came.
I was hurt.
I want to say the 5-year anniversary is going to be on Sunday of that album, which is crazy.
Ooh. Yeah, time flies.
Which is absolutely crazy. He just did his number 5. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back because I think my next thing I say is gonna need a lot of energy. So we'll be right back.
I know what you're gonna say.